Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Brothers-in-law. Hope you are having a great week thus far and getting ready for this weekend. I know I am. It's been one heck of a week for us here, so I'm ready for the weekend. So we are glad you're taking the time out of your Thursday evening to join us on this live. We got a great show lined up for you all tonight. This is dealing with the high speed pursuit chase involving the pit. I can't even say it pit maneuver in the great state of Arkansas. And so we're going to get into that here in just a second. But if you're new to our channel here on the Brothers-in-Law, we talk about police involved incidents that occur around the country. And Mike and I give our analysis on how the actions of those officers, whether or not they acted as what we like to say reasonable officers. And we also take a look at the actions of the citizens to see if they follow our acronym CALM, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. Whether the situation had turned out differently. Now, we know some of y'all going to agree and disagree with us. We got the keyboard warriors out there that want to, bash the police or whatever, but that's not why we're here. We're just looking at what the facts we had that's laying in front of us. We're looking at it just like you're looking at it, and we're just letting you know how two former police officers would handle that situation. Now, every officer is going to handle each situation differently, but that's what we talk about on here. Trying to educate people on these things before they go out here and react in a negative manner. Again, if you're new to this channel, my name is Corey, and I'm a former Virginia State Trooper and a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer. And my co-host is Mr. Mike Bradley. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
What's going on? Good to be back. I'm Mike Bradley, a retired Northern California police officer, 26 years, and also a 6-year Army veteran. So, good to be back. It's always something to talk about, something to think about, something to discuss when it comes to some of these police incidents.
Yeah.
There, like you say, Corey, there could be plenty of ways to handle a situation. One officer may handle it different than the other officer, but
Right.
in other words, there's never only one right way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's and at the same time, there's always a bad way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is a good one that we got this week. And even next week is gonna be even better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Tune in. Hey Stacy, I see you. Hey Scott, I see you.
Delando.
Delando sent us this video, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
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 Yep. So appreciate that, Delando. Appreciate it
Yeah.
very much. So, like always, before we get into this, if you're new, this is your first time checking us out, please go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button for us. Greatly appreciate that. And if you're over watching us over on Facebook, please smash that like button over there and hit some hearts for us as well. We got a good one. This is talking about a young lady driving at 122 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour speed zone. Like, what in the world was this young lady thinking? Uh, you know, the ramifications of it, because I know Mike, been in many pursuits, or like my boy old Roscoe Pico train, hot pursuit. Been in a lot of hot pursuits. And they're very dangerous.
Yeah.
They're
You
very
driving 120 miles an hour, you are
yeah,
moving.
you're moving.
And
And
luckily, you are only going a straight line usually, because you probably wreck if you trying to do some turns or something like that at that speed.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. And I think also too, Mike, as citizens, I don't think oftentimes, they really don't understand how dangerous that is. Like, I'll share a story later on. Remind me of one pursuit I got, and do hit at that time was a brand new SUV BMW, blew past me at 106, and it ended up him crashing. I mean, I don't know how he survived it. I mean, he ran straight head first into a Jersey wall at the end of the exit ramp, and tore that vehicle all to pieces. Like I said, he's lucky to be alive. But these are very dangerous pursuits. And we're going to look at this and see again if the actions of the police officer were what a reasonable officer would do. And we'll also look at the young lady and see if she follows the acronym of CALM, again, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on. So without being any further ado, Mike, go ahead and set up. Now, I'll also remind you, I will put the link to this video down below at the end of the show so you can check it out in its entirety without us talking. This is our show, so we're going to start it, stop it, make our comments, let it play at our leisure. So with that being said, Mike, go ahead, my brother.
All right. I see you. Jesus loves you. Thanks for joining us. All right. Now, this happened this year, not too long ago, last month, as a matter of fact, in Arkansas. So, vehicle speeds past the officer, as you will see in the video here, and the officer tries to catch up to it and pull it over. Let's take it from there and see what happens.
Arkansas speeds past a parked state trooper at 122 miles per hour. But unlike other states, which generally have a 35 or 45 mile per hour limits on pits, Arkansas has no limit. And troopers are authorized to do them at extreme speeds when suspects pose a risk to the public.
So everybody heard that, right? In Arkansas, they can do pit maneuvers no matter how fast they're going. You know what I'm saying? If they end up crashing as a result of that pit maneuver, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the purpose of that pit maneuver is to stop the car from moving. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind because that's going to play out here. Here we go.
Eastbound, speeds are 120. Providers, stand up.
I mean, look how he's just blowing past that 18-wheeler like he's just sitting there.
Yeah, she moving.
She moving. I mean, he's got to be doing at least 130 to try to catch up to her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least she puts her signal light on and she's getting over. Thought she was.
Now, why ain't she pulling over?
Exactly. So that's a good point right there, Mike.
Now, keep in mind, folks, I'm in a high-speed pursuit here, and you're not pulling over. I'm going to expect the worst before I work my way backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You could be a murderer. You could be someone who just kidnapped a kid. You could be anything you could think of why you would be going so fast and not stopping for the police. It's obvious she sees the police behind her, right?
Right.
But she ain't stopping. So you got to understand, I'm going to respond to that at a high level before I work my way backwards.
I think the only good thing is this was done late at night, and traffic on the highway is very limited. If this was during the afternoon or something like this definitely will have ended really bad.
Yeah. So we're only telling you this, folks, because we want you to get in. You want you to understand what is going through an officer's mind at this point. That's what it is. I'm gonna do a high risk stop on you because you ain't pulling over. So I don't know and have no clue what is driving this car, why this car is going so fast, and why this car is not stopping for me. You know what I'm saying? That's serious stuff, folks.
Yeah.
Don't think this is just a Sunday drive and just a regular traffic stop. This is something way more than that. This is what's in my mind as an officer.
That's right.
All right, here we go.
Little did the officer know, this incident was far from over.
Show me your hand! Show me your hand! I don't care! Show me your hands! Is there anybody else in the car? Step back to the sound of my voice! Step back to my voice! Step back to... You better step back to the sound of my voice and do it now! Listen to me! Listen to me! Listen to me! Listen to me! Turn around and face the other way. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Then you better do what I tell you to do. Walk backwards. Walk backwards. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice.
Okay, folks. This woman cannot be serious. I don't care if she is scared or not, Corey. You know what I'm saying? You should be scared because, first of all, you're driving over 120 miles an hour and you didn't stop. Your emergency is that you're running out of gas. Okay, not that somebody's choking in your driveway or can't breathe in the passenger seat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You running out of gas, you refuse to do what you're told because you're scared. Okay, you wasn't scared, Corey. You wasn't scared of driving 120 miles an hour.
No, sure won't.
You wasn't scared of not stopping for the police.
No, you weren't scared about that, or crashing your vehicle into another person and ultimately killing them because you're going 122 miles per hour. So that's the first thing. When you get pulled over by the cops like that, don't jump out the car like that. Stay there, listen to their commands, right? And you know that I you know, her comment that, you know, are you going to shoot me? Well, that's the mentality we have to deal with today, because all the what the media is putting out there and everything. Everybody is automatically assuming you encounter law enforcement, you're automatically going to get shot and killed. No, this girl putting her own self, her own life in jeopardy to possibly even getting hurt in some way, shape, or another. And thank God it, you know, didn't end that way. But don't do that. Don't do that. This is how these incidents happen. Listen to the officer, walk back to him, and let them put you in handcuffs. If you didn't do that, you didn't do nothing. And then they'll figure out if there's an emergency.
Yeah.
And then they'll address the emergency. But just don't, you know.
I mean, the whole I'm scared thing is
that really chaps me right there, man.
I mean, you so scared that you gonna get back into your car and keep going and drive away from the police. That's how scared you are. Are you you can't be that stupid. But you know what, Corey? Like you said, today, this younger generation, I really think that's how they think. You know what I'm saying? She really might have been scared, but she did something really, really stupid.
And you know what, Terry, you're absolutely right. We've seen folks get shot even after still complying. But that doesn't make it okay for them to still just get back in your car as she just did and drive off. That makes the situation a lot more riskier. I mean, if you just do your part. Now, we've seen these incidents unfold where, the officer is totally wrong in the shooting. And they're going to get convicted of that because you didn't resist, you didn't have a weapon on you, put your hands on, you did everything that you were supposed to do as a citizen, right?
Yeah,
And then this,
and let me clarify something too. We have seen incidents like that in the media where people, police have shot people even if they appear to comply. You know what I'm saying? But keep in mind, for every incident like that, there are 5,000 incidents that are not like that. Okay, so
right.
you know, it's what I'm getting at is that doesn't change what we expect for a citizen to do if they get pulled over by police. We're not going to tell you, oh, keep going and run away from the police, keep fleeing the police because you might get shot. We're
Right.
not going to tell you that. We're never going to say that.
Okay. So she says, okay, but we've been told to stop at a clear, well lit place.
That's a good one.
That no. Stop where you are. You've been told to get to the right shoulder and stop. I always tell don't, because if you start going too far, because some people have set in their mind, Tara, that I'm just gonna keep going to go back home because that's where I safe. No. Now I'm as the officer, I'm starting to okay, why is this person stopping? Right? You stop, you're on the interstate, get to the shoulder, safe shoulder. I mean, I safely within proximity where the officer first got behind you. So if you have to go, a mile up the road and then pull over, that's cool. We're going another 20 miles before you decide to pull over because that's where you think you feel safe. No, that's no. You pull over, then the officer will say, hey, go up to the next exit and get off and stop at the bottom to the right, and we'll stop right there. All right. You let the officer dictate that. Don't you dictate that, because now I'm thinking you're not obeying my lights and sirens that I have on. Now, in my mindset, my mindset as the officer is you're trying to outrun me. And if it's dark, that same thing. Stop. I will always put people where it's lighted if it's possible for me to do so.
Not only that, I'm gonna have so many lights on you as an officer that I'm gonna see everything. I'm gonna have my spotlights on you. I'm gonna have a flashlight on you. I'm gonna have my emergency lights going. I'm gonna have so much lights on you at nighttime because I want to feel safe that I see everything you're doing.
Right, because we want to see inside the vehicle.
Yeah, that is a good point, though, T.O. You know what I'm saying? Finding a place to pull over. I would say you got to be careful of that, like Corey was saying. You got to be careful of that because you don't want that officer to think you're taking off on them. You're just not stopping for it. You know what I'm saying? I can understand that reasoning where I want to find a good place to pull over. But like you say, it's got to be within reason. If you're going 20 miles up the road, okay, well, that's not reasonable. In this situation, this chick, this lady, I'm sorry, she got into her car, she stopped, she got out, she didn't comply. And then to make it worse, she got back into her car and took off again. You know what I'm saying? So that's not within reason. Terry, you got to understand, I do see where you're saying stop at a clear, visible place. You just have to be careful and use what's reasonable. If you're on a highway like that, Corey, and your next exit may not be but 10 miles up the road. It's probably not reasonable to not stop. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind.
And like I said, the officer is gonna let you know, hey, this is a good spot or this is not. Because I've had citizens say, hey, well, why didn't you stop when you see my lights and heard my siren? Well, I didn't feel safe. I wanted to pull. I said, you just stop to the right shoulder, and I'll tell you where we're gonna get off at. If that be the case. Because I've gotten people off the interstate and took them to, the nearby 7-Eleven. I mean, I've done that, but stop first. Let the officer dictate that. Because if you go so far, my rule was if you didn't stop within a mile, I was already calling in the pursuit. Because you got, and that's what I'm saying, Tara. You have to be careful of that, because once I get on a mic and say, hey, this is 1753, I'm headed eastbound on 64 in the pursuit with a whatever make model car, that signals to all the other officers, oh shoot, he's into something. All right, now here comes the cavalry, right?
Yeah.
Because now we got to get you, because now you've passed 3 exits and you haven't stopped. So now I have to start thinking differently. Now something's going on. So, like we said in the beginning, did you kill somebody? Did you rob, what, a kidnap, whatever, you name it. Now I have to start thinking these things. Now it's elevated now. Now I got to think, now this is going to be a high risk traffic stop now. So
if you think that was a high risk stop in the first place before she stopped the first time, you really going to be amplified on this next stop, because the first time you had your gun drawn on her and everything, because you don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know. So you have to be ready for whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if she complies and follows instructions, then you don't have a problem. You know what I'm saying? But she got back in the car and took off again. But now I'm thinking something's going on here.
Right.
That's not a reasonable response.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I be careful for that don't stop part. You always want to stop in a reasonable area. You're gonna have plenty of lights on you, because I'm gonna be lighting you up. I'm gonna be lighting all that up to the point where I have lights in your face. Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna be saying, why you got so much lights on me? Because I got my headlights on, I got my spotlights on, I got my flashlight on, I got my emergency strobe lights strobing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna see plenty of you when I pull you over. You know what I'm saying? That's what's important.
Well, she said she's scared. So how do you make her feel comfortable? Well,
okay. Well, go ahead, Corey.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, here's my problem with her being scared at this point. She chose to drive 120 plus. Everybody knows you could get pulled over by police if you're driving that fast. Okay, she wasn't scared of that. She wasn't scared of crashing her car. Okay, but she was scared of the police pulling her over. Well, the police pulled her over because she was driving 120 miles an hour. Duh, that's common sense right there, right? So how you gonna tell me you scared, but you weren't scared to be speeding like a bat out of hell, okay, where you was gonna hurt somebody? You wasn't scared then. You wasn't scared to jump back in your car and take off again. You know what I'm saying? But so the question is, how do we make you feel comfortable? Well, how do you make us feel comfortable? That really should be the question. How in this situation, the question should be, what does she need to do to make that officer feel like all she's doing is speeding?
But and I'd say, put yourself in that officer's position. What would you do? Like, you're going at 100 now. She's going 122, so he's got to do at least 130 plus to try to catch up to her. And so now your adrenaline is going too. You're pissed, like, God, dog, why does this person stop? Like, I would literally get upset, because now you put my life in jeopardy, because I got to slow you down before you get somebody else killed. And so your adrenaline as an officer is going to be high, right? And so, when I get out, I may drop a few F-bombs, because you put me in a situation that I don't want to be in, right? Yeah. Traveling that fast down the interstate. And so, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna be barking orders and I'm gonna be loud, and I may have my weapon drawn. Then I've been in some pursuits where I didn't draw my weapons. Sure. All right, but here he did. It's not wrong that he did, because you don't know what the deal is, and then you just get out the car abruptly. No, I'm gonna tell you, get the F back in the car.
In this situation, every
situation is different.
Everything is different, but
every situation is different.
If I'm doing a high risk stop or high speed stop, I'm gonna have my gun drawn on you too. You know what I'm saying? So that's not unreasonable. You know what I'm saying? But that's a good point, Scott.
And like, and I was just going to say, in some of his, in Scott's situation here, there may be some areas where there's nowhere safe to pull over, but you're going to have to make some time. Now, I don't know how officers are in every, other state. We have some rural areas here where it's not so safe to stop. I mean, you may just have to stop in the lane of travel. If it's late at night, obviously, if it's during the day, what most people would do around here, if it's during the day like that, Scott, they'll turn their four ways on and they'll slow down and to maybe 10, 15 miles an hour until they get up to a side road that they may be approaching. That's in the rural areas. On the interstate here, there's plenty of shoulder to pull off on. Ain't a bad spot on the interstate. It's just some of it's not lit real well, but there's plenty of real estate on the side of the interstate here in Virginia for you to stop. Like I said, I've taken people off the exit ramps, taken to a 7-Eleven, and had them stop there if necessary, just to make them feel comfortable. But it's just going to be based on the area. How you handle that. But good question, folks. Keep them coming.
Yeah, good. T. Hall, good one. Good question. I like the comment. Corey is more, you worked on the highways a lot more than I did. I was a city cop, so most of my areas were city streets. So if you took off in the city street, then it was clear that you were trying to get away and not stop. So that's really what it's all about, right, Corey?
Right.
You want to make sure that officer doesn't think you are trying to get away from them. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So if you get pulled, for me, when I just did a traffic stop, I hit the lights first. 99% of people will pull over when they see those lights. Now, if I chirp my siren, that means you ain't stopping where I want you to stop or when I want you to stop. So I'm hitting the siren to let you know you need to pull over now. You know what I'm saying? Right now. Okay. And if you don't pull over after I got lights and siren on, then that tells me that you probably trying to get away from me. You know what I'm saying? Right. So keep that in mind.
Right.
All right. Let's finish out the video here. Here we go. It just baffles me how she just takes off again. All because she's scared. That don't make no sense to me.
Right. And she speed right back up to over 100.
At this point, the squad car is going so fast that the sound of the engine almost completely drowns out the siren.
So he pits her. She crashes.
Stop what you're doing! Stop moving! Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down! All the way, face down! Face down! Face down! All over! All over! All over! You got her? I was running out of gas! I just running out of car! I didn't make sure it's clear yet. I was running out of gas! Nothing in the car! Get up. Get up. Hush. Hush. That was real stupid then. Yeah, I it might have been a little bit smarter.
You was gonna shoot me.
Listen to me.
You were talking about shooting me.
Ain't what nobody said they was going to shoot
You
you.
were shooting me.
That was stupid. How much you had to drink?
Not a lot. You have a gun pointed at me.
Well, no joke. Yes,
I
please.
don't have nothing on me. I promise.
I don't care if I ain't got nothing on
No,
me.
no, in person, I have nothing on me.
No joke.
Because it was in the car. I didn't drink it in the car. I was in downtown Beach Street.
Let's see if that's too full. One question, you're ready to start me 10, 11 places. Yes.
What do you mean? No, I'm not checking in the car. I'm not checking in the car.
Yeah, you know what could avoid that? Number one, not running,
You were pointing a gun
not
at me.
running 122 miles an
I am
hour
black.
before I ever stopped you.
I am black and you were pointing a gun at me. Was I supposed to be sit there and get shot?
I would point a gun at a white person doing that. Just hush, chill. It don't have nothing to do with you drinking. It don't have nothing to do with you running 122, right?
No.
Yeah, okay. Yes, ma'am, I did. Can you see if they can run that, Steve?
The suspect was charged with reckless driving, speeding in excess of 15 miles per hour, and having an open container containing alcohol in the motor vehicle. She pled nolo contendere and was ordered to pay $415 in fines. She was released from jail on a $3,000 bond. In 2023, at least 2 deaths occurred on Arkansas highways out of an estimated 480 tactical vehicle interventions executed by state troopers, making the fatality rate of such maneuvers roughly 0.42%. The brand new SUV was, of course, a total loss.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
So the
her
question,
reasoning for speeding was she was running out of gas. and your car says you got 20 miles to go before you're empty. Yeah. And that scared her enough to where she behaved the way she did with police. Say what you will. She was in the wrong. She was all wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So one of the questions in the comments, Mike, I think it was by Tara, is that, was the pit maneuver necessary? Well, each state has a different policy on it. Here in Virginia, we couldn't do it over, I think it was 35 miles per hour. But in Arkansas, they have no speed limit in which to do a pursuit or not. And I guess they base it on, risk factors, the time of day, traffic on the highway or interstate, and the probability of them just only impacting that vehicle. So he made a decision to do the pit maneuver. I mean, would I have done? Well, like I said, here in Virginia, we can't do it at that rate of speed. So I would have just followed her until either she crashed or
on
she
her own,
ran out of gas, or we were able to get some spike strips out there, and hopefully she would run over those spike strips and flatten her tires and get her to come to a stop. That would have been our policy in doing this. Again, like I said, every state is different. I don't know if I was in Arkansas and that was the policy. Yeah, I probably would have pitted her out too to get her to stop. But again, every state's policy is different. I don't know what it is in Ohio. Do you know, Mike, by chance?
Yeah, I don't know. I know in California, in our agency in California, we weren't even trained to pit. So we didn't do pit. Yeah, we didn't do pit maneuvers at all. You know what I'm saying? But it's different city by city, state by state. I'm sure it's different wherever you go. A pit maneuver can be necessary. A pit maneuver may not be necessary. Like you saying, Corey, if you got a lot of traffic on the road with a lot of innocent civilians and stuff, maybe you wouldn't do a pit maneuver. You know what I'm saying? In the city where you got a lot of city streets and you got a lot of pedestrians and stuff like that, maybe you wouldn't do a pit maneuver at that point. I wouldn't do it then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in this case, in Arkansas, apparently they can do a pit maneuver, and they can do it no matter how fast they're going. There may be some risk factors that the officer has to consider in doing so, like you said, Corey, but they can do it. In this case, he did it. If he didn't do it, maybe she wouldn't have stopped. Maybe she would have hit somebody else and got somebody else killed.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Maybe
mean,
anything. You know what I'm saying? At going those speeds.
yeah, and then she had alcohol in her system, and then to say, well, you say you were going to shoot me. Well, we heard in the video, and nowhere in it did he say he was going to shoot her. She has all this in her head. I mean, I get you might be, hey, young lady, you scared, okay, but don't put yourself in that situation, and there's no need for it. I mean, 122 miles an hour, saying, you go that fast because you have an emergency. In your emergencies, you're running out of gas. Now that's no excuse to go 120. So I tell you what's going to happen here. In my opinion, what she got right there was very light. Here in Virginia, you get especially 122 miles per hour like that. So that's what 60 miles per hour. So we're talking almost 60 something 7 miles per hour the speed limit she was going. It's I think it's $1 or $2 per mile over the speed limit. So let's go high end $2. So 2 times 67. That's what she'll be paying in fines. Plus court costs another $400. And you're gonna get 30 days in jail with 30 days suspended. You do 10 days in jail. If you got a good judge, a nice judge, they might let you serve just the weekends. But you're going to do 10 days in jail. Your license is going to be suspended for 6 months. And you'll end up with a restricted license, meaning the judge gives you certain restrictions, which you can only go, say, to work, to and from work, to and from church, child care if you got a kid, and medical appointments, and that's it. So yeah, you get. There's some judges they're just gonna throw you in jail for the full 30 days. It doesn't matter. I've had judges lock people up. The speed limit is 60. I get them for 85 and it's 60. Judge still put you in jail. Reckless driving here in the state of Virginia. Yeah, you don't want you might as well go ahead and call your job and tell them you're gonna be a little late. 10 days late.
Yes, Scott, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong for you geography lovers out there, I think Houston or Texas borders Arkansas. If I'm not mistaken, I'm bad with geography, but like Texarkana, they call it Texarkana.
Yeah, it's on the border. I caught that too at the end. It said in Houston, but it was an Arkansas state trooper. So I don't think he crossed state lines.
I don't think so.
To go into,
if he did, it's close. It's that close to Texas and Arkansas. Yeah. So good questions. I mean, as far as pursuits, I mean, we were closely governed by pursuits. It was still up to the individual officer to decide if he's going to do a pursuit. You know what I'm saying? But if he does, there are a lot of risk factors that we would consider. Time of day. If there's any traffic on the road, is there high pedestrians on the road? Type of crime. There's a lot of things that we would consider before doing or continuing a pursuit like that, much less a pit maneuver. So that varies state by state, city by city. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
In this case, it's just amazing, Corey, how she says, I was scared, and like the officers were being unreasonable. You know what I'm saying? They were being unreasonable in how they stopped her. No, they were being perfectly within reason. For all our young folks or viewers out there, just because you're scared, that's even more so that you follow the commands that the officers give you. We will never tell you to do something opposite of what the officer is telling you to do. you will only make things worse. Yeah, are there situations, Corey, where we have seen someone comply and they still get shot? Yeah, we've seen that. Yeah. Okay. But one time we got a problem with that. It's always an issue if an officer does something stupid, okay, that should not have happened. But when that's not going to change the advice we give people, we'll always tell you to comply. You ain't going to do nothing but make the situation worse if you don't. Simple as that. It's not enough to say I'm scared. No. If you scared, do what you're told. That's
do
it.
Too. End of the day. So hey, good talk, good show, good video. Love all the comments and the responses. So we're gonna wrap this one up for this Thursday night. Again, if this is your first time checking us out and you like the content of this video, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button for us. We greatly appreciate it. And if you got a video that you'd like for us to check out, please feel free to email us at the Brothas-in-law 21 at gmail.com, and we'll get the video on. If you'd like to do a show with us, please email us as well, and we'll love to have you on the show, and you can break down a video with us, give us your opinion as a citizen, and let's talk about it. So again, hit us up at Brothas-in-law 21 at gmail.com, and we'll be back next Thursday. We got one already lined up for next week, and we'll prep that probably this weekend and get it out there. We'll be back same time, same sandbox next week, Thursday evening, 18. Mike?
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Scott, Delando, Brothas-in-law. I'm sorry, Brothas-in-law.
That's us.
Jesus loves you. Tara, T. Hall, Stacy. I see you guys on here. Love the comments. We tell you what we tell you, and we give you the best information that we know how. You know what I'm saying? And appreciate you guys tuning in with us. And you guys have a good weekend.
Yeah, have a good weekend. Stay safe. God bless you all, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yep. Out.